Welcome to Red-tastic. Story 1. My husband, 33 male, and I, 31 female, have been married for a few years. Before we got married, we agreed to split our finances so that 50% of each of our incomes would go into a joint account for shared expenses, and the other 50 could be spent however we wanted on personal things. At the time, it worked well because we earned similar amounts, and it gave us both financial independence while still contributing equally to household costs. Fast forward to now. We had a baby 5 months ago, and I'm currently on maternity leave and receive only half my usual pay. My husband still expects me to contribute 50% of our joint expenses, but I simply can't afford it anymore. For the past few months, I've been digging into my savings to make up the difference, but my savings are running out. And I told him I can't keep this up. Instead of being understanding, my husband insists that the arrangement we agreed on before marriage is fair, and that I'm not holding up my end. This had led to several fights between us. To make things worse, I'm the one buying all the formula for the baby, because I haven't been able to produce enough breast milk. My husband says formula is entirely my responsibility, since it's my body's issue, and he refuses to contribute. I'm feeling completely overwhelmed and unsupported between the financial strain taking care of a newborn and my husband's lack of understanding. I don't know what to do. How do I get through to him that our pre-baby arrangement no longer makes sense? Is this an issue we can fix, or am I being naive to think things will get better? Update. After reading through your advice, I realized I needed to have a serious conversation with my husband and lay everything out clearly. Last night, I sat him down and explained in detail how much this situation is draining me, both financially and emotionally. I did the math for him. My current income, the cost of formula, which I have been covering entirely, and how quickly my savings are dwindling. I told him this arrangement isn't sustainable for me and that he needs to step the F up. Well, he said it's not his fault. I'm on maternity leave and that I should have planned better. He also reiterated that formula is my responsibility since it's such an unnecessary issue, arising purely due to my shortcomings. So now the big sit down and talk was a complete failure. I reached out to my parents and in-laws. Both sides were absolutely aghast at his behavior. My father-in-law, in particular, was furious and told me I could come stay with them immediately. He said if his idiot son doesn't get his act together, I'm welcome to live there indefinitely, baby and all. My parents live far away, so tomorrow I'm going to my in-laws' house. I don't want to make any rash decisions, but I need space to think and figure out my next steps. My father-in-law said he's going to have a conversation with my husband, and I hope that maybe hearing it from his dad will knock some sense into him. If not, I don't know what this means for our marriage. I'm still processing everything, but I feel some relief knowing I have support. Thank you again for your advice. It gave me the courage to take action. I can't even begin to tell you just how much of an idiot and an ass your husband is being, OP. How on earth does he expect you to still contribute half of your salary when your salary has been halved? And on top of that, he still expects you to take full responsibility for buying formula for the baby you both brought into this world. Your husband sounds absolutely horrible, and I can't believe he didn't realize how wrong he is after you pointed it out to him. I'm so glad his parents aren't like him, and that you at least have their support, which you so desperately need. If he keeps being an ass, don't hesitate to divorce him. Your child doesn't need a father like that. And you definitely don't need a husband as inconsiderate and awful as him. Story 2. Am I the a-hole for cutting my best friend out of my wedding because she refuses to wear contacts instead of glasses? My husband and I will be getting married in August. I have 7 bridesmaids, one of which was supposed to be my best friend, Rachel. Rachel and I have been best friends since we were 4, and I love the girl to death. Rachel wears glasses as she was born with a squint and has an astigmatism. When the topic came up, I told her I would like her to wear contacts for my wedding as they are easier to work with when it comes to makeup, more aesthetically pleasing, and makes sure there is no glare in wedding photos, which is obviously essential. Rachel refuses as she struggles wearing contacts as they don't help her sight at all, apparently. Her prescription is supposedly too strong. I told her she couldn't be a part of my wedding party if she wasn't going to listen to my requests, and my friends have all said that it was really uncalled for. It's my wedding, so I think it should be a given that I get what I want. But everyone seems to think I've been really unfair. Am I the a-hole? I can't believe this. You're the a-hole, OP. The way weddings turn people into annoying, unreasonable versions of themselves needs to be studied. You say Rachel is your best friend and that you've known each other since you were 4. So you should really know she can't just wear contacts. Why on earth should she not be able to see just because it's your big day? Your complete lack of empathy towards her makes you the a-hole. You literally prioritized the aesthetic of one day over your friend. And it's not even something she can change, which makes it so much worse. You're the a-hole, OP. Rachel deserves a better friend. Now for some comments. You're the a-hole, Bridezilla. She already told you why. Trust me when I say if your prescription is too strong and there's something else going on with your eyes, contacts are not a good thing to use. I wear contacts personally, but my daughter can't. She hates anything that goes near her eyes, and her eyes go a certain way. Doctors say unless she corrects that, she can. But anything near her eyes, even eye drops, is a hassle and a problem. So it's a no. The fact that you prefer aesthetics over your lifelong friendship says so much about the type of person you are. Don't be surprised if she cuts ties with you for that. Of course you're the a-hole. If her prescription is so strong, she can't see with lenses. How is she supposed to do anything? I would be lost without my glasses. I can't even walk around my own house without them, without blundering into something. I don't think you can come back from this. If I were the friend, I wouldn't want to be in a wedding knowing my friend thought I looked bad. How self-conscious is she going to feel now? Possibly in any social situations from now on, she may well avoid you to avoid being judged so harshly on how she looks. I know I would. You're the a-hole completely and utterly. Firstly, glare on photos. Any photographer worth their salt will be able to remove glare or shoot in a way that it wouldn't be a factor. That's complete bull. Secondly, your friend is telling the truth that she can't get contacts strong enough. I have a relative with astigmatism, and to have contacts thick enough to correct it, they would have to be far, far too thick to actually wear. Even when wearing the strongest contacts possible, this relative can't even see past the end of their own nose. Also, her glasses are unlikely to be a new addition to her. So you're essentially asking her to change herself for your own enjoyment. Story 3. I, 38 female, have 4 friends, girl triplets and a boy. The triplets are 12 months old and my boy is 2 years old. The kid's sister, 24 female, has a 1.5-year-old girl. I'm gonna get to the point because I'm short on time here. Every time my boy is hurt or one of my friends, I always rush to them, give them a kiss, tell them everything is okay and make them feel really safe. Because I think that's what moms are for, you know? They cry and cry, but stop when I pick them up and hold them. My sister, on the other hand, is rather cold. I have no doubt she loves her daughter, but for example, we were all hanging out one day, her daughter tripped, and was having trouble getting up. I waited for my sister to go pick her up, and when she didn't, I started to walk towards her, but my sister stopped and told me to let her do it. She then began talking to her daughter from afar and watching, and finally she got up on her own. It broke my heart because she must have been scared, and her mom didn't even rush to her. Every time my niece has trouble doing something, my sister waits to see if she can do it on her own. I get that it's not that bad, but my niece is a toddler. She doesn't understand what her mom is trying to do. She wants to feel comforted. I'm writing here because I'm meeting with my sister tomorrow and I want to bring this up. I just want to tell her to be kinder, but I'm afraid she won't listen. How can I talk to her about this? I'm sure a lot of moms here feel the same way I do, and I just want to show my sister she's not doing the baby any favors by trying this. I fear the kid is going to resent her because of it. Kids feel these kinds of things. Now for some comments. I was raised like that by my mom, who really wanted to encourage my independence. We had a very loving, very tender bond, but I would just always run and fall, scratch myself, hurt myself all the time. And my mom made me feel like it wasn't a big deal, so I didn't feel scared. And I didn't have relationship problems with her because of that. Now, do you have other examples of her being cold or detached? Because if it's the only type of thing, it's nothing. If you have other more striking instances, it might mean something. But based on that sole incident, no, you shouldn't talk to her about it. Honestly, I think you're a little overbearing. Being a parent is not about giving a kid everything they want, no matter how young or old they are. Even kids need to learn how to do things on their own. And comforting them can teach them that mom will fix everything when they want. Whatever, that's kind of besides the point. The point is that your sister is not doing anything wrong. You have different parenting styles, but that doesn't mean either of you are wrong. Just because you're older and do it differently, doesn't mean you should tell her how to parent her children. If it's not abuse and she's not asking for help, then don't bring it up. Your sister has a fundamentally different parenting philosophy from you. It makes you uncomfortable, but you still believe she loves the daughter, and you have seen no evidence of actual abuse or neglect. I get that you feel concerned, but if you want to engage with your sister on the subject, then you should try and understand where she's coming from and what she's trying to accomplish, rather than from the position that you know what's best for your sister and her daughter. Because it doesn't sound like you do. You just have how you feel, starting on the premise that someone is doing something wrong because it's not what you would do, or it makes you feel bad. Makes it very easy for them to dismiss you and push you out of their confidence, especially when it's something that has nothing to do with you and is fairly personal.